Have you ever stopped to think about what truly occupies the space in your heart? Often, we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, forgetting to dedicate ourselves to a greater purpose. Total surrender is like a boat sailing in deep waters. When we truly trust, we set aside uncertainties and find peace. Surrender is not just an act, but a journey that transforms us and guides us in moments of doubt. When we decide that our direction, our heart, and our hope are in the hands of something greater, we create space for true transformation to occur. It is in this space that we find security, even amid life's storms. What holds you back from surrendering your boat to this purpose? What are the waves that try to pull you away from tranquility? The answer to these questions may be the first step toward a fuller and more connected life. As we reflect on our surrender, we are challenged to trust, even when we cannot see the shore in sight. This trust takes us to a place where we can feel the love that surrounds us, even in loneliness and difficulty. So, I invite you to ask yourself, how would your life change if you surrendered everything to what you believe? How could that transform your journey? May we prepare ourselves for this surrender together, seeking the strength we need to move forward. When we talk about surrender and trust, it is essential to remember that this willingness does not come out of nowhere. Often we face challenges that seem to divert us from our path. Life is full of obstacles that can make us question where we are placing our hearts and hopes. The good news is that we are not alone on this journey. The Bible offers us comfort and direction. In Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." This passage teaches us that when we surrender our hearts to a higher power, uncertainties begin to lose their strength. Trusting means letting go of control and allowing something greater to guide us. Life often presents us with waves that try to pull us away from what truly matters. We may feel lost, but genuine surrender shows us that even in storms, there is a safe harbor. By recognizing this presence in all our ways, we find direction, even when the waters are turbulent. In times of loneliness and discouragement, we may ask ourselves, what is truly occupying my heart? This reflection is crucial. What keeps us from fully trusting in a greater purpose? The answer may lie in how we deal with our difficulties. When we recognize that we are not alone, we find strength in the promises given to us. Thus, as we look at our lives and challenges, we are invited to set aside excessive self-confidence and lean on something that transcends us. Today, many feel lost in a society that values self-sufficiency. However, this quest for control can distance us from what truly matters, connection with something greater than ourselves. We must remember that by surrendering our being, our path, and our hope, we are guided more clearly. The love surrounding us is a constant reminder that we are not alone, even in the darkest hours. Surrender is a daily choice, a faith exercise that invites us to look ahead, even when the horizon seems uncertain. The trust based on surrender allows us to face challenges with serenity, knowing that each step taken is guided by a force that loves us. As we confront difficulties, let us always remember that surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of courage and faith. And it is this courage that drives us to move forward, even when we do not see a shore in sight. Thus, as we reflect on our lives, may we encourage ourselves to trust. May each of us seek this surrender, allowing the greater force to guide us on our journey, bringing peace and clarity amid the storms that may arise. Lord, I come to you with my heart open, recognizing that often I let myself be carried away by the waves of life. I confess that, in moments of loneliness and uncertainty, I have sought control in my own strength, forgetting to rely on you. I realize that this self-confidence is limited, and that by trying to navigate alone, I have distanced myself from the love that surrounds me. Help me to remember that true security is in surrendering my being to you and trusting that, even when I do not see the way, you are always by my side. I am grateful for each day that you allow me to start over. Even when the storms seem to threaten my peace, I know that your love sustains me. It is comforting to know that amidst challenges, I have a safe harbor in you. Thank you for reminding me that I am not alone, that in every struggle, in every tear, your love is present. May I always recognize this truth and be grateful, even in the hardest times, for it is your love that gives me hope and strength. Today, I surrender to you the worries that haunt me, those anxieties about the future that I cannot control, the work challenges that overwhelm me, and the uncertainties in relationships that cause me pain. I ask that, just as it is written in Proverbs, I may trust with all my heart. Help me to recognize your hand in every situation, even when the waves seem too great. May I navigate in peace, knowing that you are with me at every step. I offer you my will and desire to follow your ways. May I be an instrument of your love, bringing hope to those who feel lost. May my life reflect the surrender I make to you, showing others that there is a greater purpose guiding us. Help me to be a light in someone's life, even when I myself am amidst difficulties. May my offering of love and service be a response to your grace in my life. In the midst of the challenges I face, I plead, strengthen my faith. When doubts arise and the storms try to divert me, give me the courage to look to you and not at the waves. May I, like Peter, keep my eyes fixed on you, even when the sea is rough. Help me to remember that in you I can find peace and that by surrendering I am secure and loved. May I never lose hope that you are greater than any problem I face. Lord, I ask that you help me remain steadfast in my surrender. May I trust that even when I do not understand the path, your guidance will always be the best. Each day may I choose to move forward, even when the waters are tumultuous. May my heart find rest in you, knowing that in all situations, surrender is the way to true peace. In life, we often encounter situations that seem to divert us from our purpose. A powerful biblical story that exemplifies this is Peter walking on water, found in the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 to 33. After an intense day of teaching, Jesus asked the disciples to cross the sea while he went up the mountain to pray. In the middle of the night, a storm arose, and the disciples, terrified, saw a figure walking on the water. As Jesus approached, he said, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." Peter, eager and full of faith, asked to go to him. Hearing the call, Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water. However, when he noticed the strength of the wind and the waves, he began to sink and cried out for help. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and saved him, asking, "You have little faith, why did you doubt?" This narrative offers us valuable insights about surrender and trust amid storms. What we often forget is that Peter had the courage to take the first step. He did not hesitate to leave the boat, even knowing the waters were dangerous. This attitude teaches us that surrender often requires the courage to face the unknown. In our lives, we are also called to step out of our comfort zones, to leave what is familiar, and to confront the challenges that arise. What is holding you back from taking that step? What fears keep you tied to the boat? Furthermore, the story highlights the importance of keeping our focus. When Peter looked at the waves and the wind, he began to doubt. This shift in focus caused him to sink. In times of uncertainty, we are tempted to distract ourselves with the problems around us, forgetting to look at the one who sustains us. Keeping our eyes fixed on faith, even when difficulties try to divert us, is essential. How can we apply this in our lives today? What can we do to, like Peter, keep our gaze towards hope and faith? Surrender is not just an act of trust, but a continuous commitment. When Peter cried out for help, Jesus was there, ready to save him. Often in our struggles, we wonder if we are alone. The truth is that even when we feel lost, we are not abandoned. Love and support are always within reach, ready to rescue us when we call. May this certainty encourage us to surrender fully, knowing that we are never truly alone. The story of Peter also teaches us about the importance of community. He was accompanied by the other disciples, and together they faced the storm. In the midst of difficulties, it is essential to remember that we do not have to face struggles alone. The presence of friends and the faith community can bring strength and encouragement in moments of weakness. How can we seek and offer support to one another in the storms of life? Surrender is a path that, although filled with challenges, offers us the opportunity to experience true peace. Just like Peter, we are invited to step out of the boat and walk on the waters, even when the horizon seems uncertain. May we remember that when we surrender our lives and hearts, we find support and direction amidst the waves. Let each of us seek this connection, trusting that even in the storms, there is a greater purpose guiding us. In summary, Peter's story teaches us that surrender is an act of faith that requires courage and focus. When we face life's storms, may we always remember that we are not alone. The love and direction we seek are available to us, ready to sustain us with every step. May we have the courage to take that first step, even in turbulent waters, trusting that by surrendering our lives, we find the true peace we desire. As we reflect on everything shared, we are reminded that surrendering to a greater purpose transforms not only our lives, but also the way we face difficulties. It is in this surrender that we find true peace and renewed hope, even in the most intense storms. The love that surrounds us is a beacon in the darkness, guiding us and showing that we are not alone. When we recognize that our life, our heart, and our path belong to something greater, we set aside fears and insecurities, allowing faith to lead us. Surrender is an act of courage. Just like Peter, who had the audacity to step out of the boat, we are challenged to take steps into the unknown, even when the waves seem threatening. Today, I encourage you to reflect on what has been holding you back from fully trusting. What are the barriers that still bind you? How about making a conscious choice to surrender those worries? Remember that each step taken in faith is an affirmation of trust in the love that sustains us. At the end of this moment, may you carry with you the certainty that even in difficulties, there is always a direction to follow. May your heart be open to experiencing the support and love that are always within your reach. May you have the courage to look ahead, keeping your focus on what truly matters. To conclude, I leave you with a brief blessing. May the peace that surpasses all understanding guard your heart and mind. May you be enveloped by this unconditional love that strengthens you with every step of your journey. And if you felt touched by this message, do not hesitate to share this video with someone who also needs to hear this. Subscribe to the channel, like, and leave your comment. What have you been doing to surrender your worries? Let's build a space of support and faith together. Your experience can inspire others.